From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth a sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies.
All right, and Lakesh Alakim, welcome to the Prelude for our overview. We're going to be having an overview all about our winter semester at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. So very excited about that and our ability to really tap into the evolved nature of what it takes for us to go from where we are to more evolved consciousness in this particular society. So we're very excited about the opportunity to make impressions on those of you who will be able to attend the overview. And it's really powerful because just think about it. How many people, how many institutions are really talking about evolving from that particular standpoint? It doesn't really happen that much. If we get jobs, and that can help us improve our situation. But I'm talking about evolve as a species. I'm talking about evolve into more intelligence to design a more advanced world for ourselves to experience individually and collectively, the collective consciousness. So this evolutionary alert, again, is a prelude to the 2026 Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment Winter Quarter that's going to be starting this upcoming Saturday. So what we're going to do today, and you can share this with people, this will be a brief prelude to what we're going to talk about in the overview tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason why that's significant is because we're going to do a detailed overview of the 8 classes that we're going to be offering. And it's going to be phenomenal so that you can really come and kick the tires and see, oh, what is the value in this and why should I be considering taking these type of classes right now with what I have going on in my life, my career, my family, etc. So with that being the case, I just want to tap forward in some of the courses that we're offering. So we're offering natural time, we call fourth dimensional courses. And these courses are dealing with the law of time basics. And then that's LOT 100. And then there's LOT 200, which is an intermediate course. Now, the law of time, what's very powerful about this is that in these classes, the law of time classes, they are taught from the psychological perspective of a multi-dimensional beings. And let me tell you something more that I am more and more convinced of, that we need to be multi-dimensional beings now more than ever, not linear, A84B, and follow these programs that reduce our access to our intelligence and reduce our spiritual capabilities and our creative forces. So these classes, this will be our 23rd consecutive semester of teaching this, and we've mainly been teaching this under the radar. We hadn't fully went full blast on terms of promoting this because we really this has been for a distinct type of person that really wants to advance their spirituality, and they're just finding holes and gaps in what they're learning, and they're looking for the missing link. For me, this was the missing link. When I got started with this 9 years ago, and now I'm in my 10th year, I was into metaphysics, I was into quantum physics, I was into a whole lot of different things that were going on to advance me, like mentally. But I wasn't thinking about how does that influence consciousness as a whole, and I didn't know I needed to. Actually, I was using what I had for business purposes to get the bag. I wanted to live a certain lifestyle, and I wanted to use this to help enhance my intelligence to do so. Well, as I got deeper into this, I saw the science behind how we advance into extrasensory beings, how we advance into cosmic intelligence and cosmic knowledge. I saw how we can advance as far as being able to be more telepathic, and the significance of that in this time where we're following artificial programs, AI, right? AI has advanced a lot, but what about us as humans and our consciousness? And so the AI, artificial intelligence, has advanced very quickly. Our human intelligence is kind of reduced to how our mental capacities are being governed by these government agencies. So when I say now is the time to release ourselves from these government agencies and practice self-governance, we need to have a certain degree of intelligence of how the cosmos works, how our particular human technology works, so that we can exert our energy and be effective not only in the etheric realm, we're in meditation, and we're in the celestial, in contact with celestial beings, those of us that do that. But we're also able to equilibrate that on this physical plane in the phenomenal world. And so the classes that we offer help show, the law of time classes in particular, show us how to be multidimensional beings and integrate ourselves into a system that is linear. So we live in a linear program. We live in a matrix where things are kind of programmed for us, how we should eat, how society works. And it limits us really to be able to it limits us from being able to advance ourselves beyond the programs that are presented to us. And so as a result of that, we want to be able to advance beyond that. It's like having your cake and eat it too. You can have your cake and eat it too. You just can't eat it and have it. Once you eat it, it's gone, right? But the point is this. Now, if you're not a multidimensional being, you're going to be subservient to AI and all of, not that AI is a bad thing, but the more you depend on it, the more you depend on governments, the more you depend on religions for you to advance your spirituality, you're going to be locked into a program that actually is going to limit your growth and your own evolution. And so me experiencing that firsthand, we've comprised of a very comprehensive program to help people to advance themselves, to help them activate the God in them so that they now can experience these different forms of intelligence and be able to exert that into our mainstream society in a harmonious way and be able to advance our children and generations to come and eventually shift the consciousness of the planet into a new type of human. We call it the synchronistic human, but a new type of human, and we can also call it a superhuman, that's able to use some of the faculties that's lie dormant in our brain and in our mind up to this point. Because there's been no reason for it. There's been no purpose for it. It's like, I talk a lot about some of the benefits of telepathy. And so people will say to me, well, Nepta Harker, why do I need to be telepathic? I got a cell phone. And all I need to do is call somebody. Well, what happens if they shut the grid down? What do you do then? Okay, what happens if the monetary system changes and resets? And now if you had retirements and assets, now they're down to twos and you got to start over. And the AI is taking all the jobs. How do you now move forward and fortify your position and be able to create wealth from that standpoint? We need to be able to foresee and foretell some of these things that are going to happen so we can prepare different. And of course, inform others that are on the same thought process so that we can thrive in this type of culture and environment, even though it's designed to repress and suppress us in a certain kind of way. So these courses, when we talk about the law of natural time courses, they support giving instruction on how to be a multidimensional being. And here's something else that's extremely important. I want you to listen to this and share this with other people if you can before we do our live overview. There is a conflict that we're experiencing internally. In our heart of hearts, we want to advance spiritually. But the way things are set up is for us to advance technically. And so there are some alignments between technical and spiritual, and then there are some misalignments. So some of the misalignments is, the ideal in the technical world that there's scarcity that exists. So from scarcity, it provides a fear that there's not enough resources. So as we're advancing spiritually or getting information to help us advance spiritually, we're saying, oh man, but I don't have the money to take the time to study this long enough because I got to feed my family. So the apparent illusion is I don't have enough money, right, to take the time to do something that's going to help me evolve spiritually. Now, what we don't know is that when we evolve spiritually, we're going to be able to collapse time frames and do something that's more precise in a shorter period of time and much more efficient and better. So we want that. But in our mind, the program is ringing louder that, oh, man, if I take the time to do this, I'm not going to be able to feed my family. Or I'm not going to have the time to do certain things And if I don't take the time to do these certain things, I could lose some relationships. I could lose, different things that are important to me in the material world, but really are not as significant in the spiritual world. Is that clear? So you'll find that the conflict shows up in time, the lack of time and the lack of money in the artificial frequency, or we call the artificial 12-month calendar, 60-minute clock frequency that keeps us stuck in the logic and reasoning program that keeps us confined to the limitations of how that works. And so for those of us that have something in our heart, like I did, I knew there was something more for me that I needed to tap into. And I want that, when we hear things like, you can do anything that you want to do as long as you put God first. Now that means anything. That's an absolute statement. And so when we do that, but how does that really work when we're in a program with limitations? And so when we teach these classes, it requires you, for it to work, for you to move from a linear mindset to a multi-dimensional mindset. Linear means we got to do A before B, B before C, C before D, and we kind of do things in a linear and a sequence. As a multi-dimensional being, the same distance from A to Z is the same distance from A to B. It's just making the decision of where you want to be and being present for it so you can exert your energy accordingly. And so we teach in that sense how natural time or nature and the power of synchronicity works on your behalf to support your purpose, to support your missions on this planet. And when you know that you have nature and the power of synchronicity in the whole earth working on your behalf, then it's easier to exert your behavior on what you need to be doing as far as your purpose is considered, right? And that's what we're focusing on. We're going to show you how to find out your purpose on the planet. Because think about it, you couldn't even get here without a purpose. You couldn't get into the physical realm without a purpose. So people spend their whole lives looking for purpose, and you can't get in here without it. So once you know your purpose and you see how nature, just like the seed or the acorn of a tree, the acorn of a tree already sees itself as a tree, a physical tree, right? How do you see yourself as a divine being? You got to already see yourself as a divine being so you can do divine things. But you won't know that if the program is telling you that you're just a physical being and you have these type of limitations. Now, let's talk about the hollow mind perceiver. And these are whole mind, or you see 5D on here. We're going to talk about both of these tonight, the classes that we're offering in detail. But we talk about this because in the 5D, the hollow mind perceiver shows you how to look at this from the perspective of the cosmos unfolding and enfolding into different universes, into different solar systems, or we call galaxies, into different planets, and into sentient beings that are operating, or humans that are operating, and life force that's operating on these different planets. How does it unfold to that? And what does that show you in terms of what your capabilities are as a creator on this physical plane? So the hollow mind perceiver shows you how your brain, when it unblocks the programs, how it can process the omnipresent mind or the whole mind and access all of the capabilities of that whole omnipresent mind and localize it through you, not just through your perception about what you create. And this is an introduction into the holographic universe. So from this perspective, and this is deep, so listen, from this perspective, we all are living in a holographic projection of our mind. Now think about the significance of that. A holographic projection of mind. Now, it may be your mind, or it may be another mind that's being projected in or programmed in your mind to think a certain kind of way. But this holographic projection of mind now is showing that you are living in your own universe in this holographic world from the inside out. That everything that you see is a projection and a reflection of who you are on the most innate and intimate levels, right? And so if you take that perspective, right, that means you really advance your consciousness or you're in the process of doing so. Now you can see what you're experiencing in this world, and you can change yourself or change the consciousness, the level of consciousness you're operating on in order to change what you experience in that hologram or that holographic projection. And so we have right now 6 different levels that we're teaching this holographic projection or holomind perceiver on. It starts at H&P, holomind perceiver 421, 422, 423, 424, 425, 426, and 426. And so there's 4 of the courses that are in the holomind perceiver that are 6 weeks, and then there's 2 of them that are like mini courses. They're 3 weeks apart. So you have to have the prerequisites to get to those others that are 3 weeks. But these are phenomenal classes. This right here helps you to access your absolute intelligence and not be controlled by artificial intelligence. Because here's the thing about artificial intelligence: it's good while it lasts. But then you're not the programmer that's programming the artificial reality or the technology. And so when it changes, you're not in control of the changes. And so therefore you have to, in most cases, comply with the changes, even if it takes away some of from some of your universal principles that you operate from. So that's fine to access that as it serves your purpose. But what's even greater, if you can tap into the absolute intelligence of your own mind, of your own beingness, that allows you to operate right beyond the program, beyond the different systems that have been technically set up. And we call this the technosphere, that creates a barrier between our physical being and spirituality. And this is something that's very real. This is not something that I just came up with. I've been teaching on this for over 10 years, or now 9 years, and going on 10 years. And so what would it be like for you to be able to comprise and access and remember, put together your mind in the way that I'm talking about? And if there's something in your reality that you don't like, you can change and make some adjustments within yourself. And then you're going to change the projection of a holographic projection, and then you're going to change what you experience. Now, we teach the science behind how that actually works on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis. And once you have that knowledge, you're not fooled by these illusions that make you think you're too much of this, not enough of that. You have to be colonized or enslaved. You have to be targeted. You have to be all these different things. These are all limitations that the system has put in place through these programs that I'm talking about. And so now this is the information that takes us beyond that. So this is why I talk about evolution is the solution. And the time is now. This Prelude is designed, hopefully enough of you get a chance to see this, and I tell you, when you see this, share it with people, because it is approximately 6:23 right now on the East Coast. And we're going to do a full overview to explain the significance of this, very comprehensive, so you know that you know that you know this is something different, but this is something that I have to do with all the changes that are going on in society today. This is something I have to do so I can become aware that frequency is the new currency, that I'm going to build based on the frequency that I have, and that's going to attract the current circumstances, and my finances and how I prosper from that in terms of my finances and my health and relationships are going to be a reflection of the frequency that I'm operating from. And if that's true, and it is, you now have to, the strategy is to raise the bar in terms of your frequency so you can be more effective on this physical plane. That's why we're teaching the classes. They don't really teach this in higher institutions of learning. They teach you how to get a job. They teach you how to become an entrepreneur and how to be a law-abiding citizen in terms of what's economically going to keep the engine rolling, right? But that's not all that you are, because as we spiritually evolve and to more compassion and to different states of enlightenment, then it's very important that we're taken care of financially and we understand what that looks like in terms of the relationship, the intimate relationship, the business relationships. I call them all companions of destiny. And when all of that is intact, not only are you able to serve your spiritual purpose, but you're able to take care of your contribution to this world to give people a passageway or a bridge so that they too can evolve out of just being a physical mechanical being. And instead of them expiring after they're a physical mechanical being, they are in position to inspire and get into the spirit of their evolution, and they're able to have a different type of longevity in terms of how their presence is made on this planet, whether they're physically here or physically no longer here. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to put the link into the actual chat in terms of where we're going to have this location. It's going to be on our private server. So you definitely want to message me if this is something that you want to participate in. And by doing so, you're going to be able to really put yourself in a very powerful position to get the knowledge, number one. But more importantly, when you get the knowledge, now, if you apply the knowledge, you're able to apply the knowledge. You're going to put yourself in the most powerful position to effectuate the kind of change that you want to experience in this particular reality. All right. So we are very, very, very excited about this. So we're actually going to be doing this presentation in our portal, right? On our private server, and this is going to be in our instructional portal. All right, in our instructional portal, you're going to be able to come in and see what we're doing from an instructor standpoint with this overview, so that you can make an informed decision about how evolution is the only solution, and now is the time for you to tap into this incredible knowledge and information for yourself. All right, so if you got any questions, email me. All right, email me at profcosby811@gmail.com. All right, I'm going to put the link for where we're going to be in right here in the chat. All right, and take advantage of this. Take advantage of this. No longer do we have to be limited in the different instructions and definitions of what it means to be us as humans, or what it means to be successful. I say it's time to move from success to significance. Okay, and the way we do that is to become multidimensional. That's how we can't be contained and be self-governed by some of these programs that just not are designed for us to evolve spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or what have you. All right, so definitely you should see the link in the chat. If you got any questions, inbox me. I'll make sure you have the appropriate link. And let's evolve together. And I'll end this session by saying, in Lakesh, which means I am another you. Alakim means you are another me. Right? Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. I'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our detailed overview, so you can really see why this is so important in this day and age and this time for us to evolve this way. That's going to be it for now. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. Peace.